Welcome back, everybody, to episode 259 of Take Two Podcast. My name is Brian. I am your host this week. We have a good show for you guys today. I have reviews of Clickbait. Finally wrapped up that series that dropped a few weeks ago over on Netflix. The Starling film that just came out over the weekend. Star Wars Visions out on Disney Plus right now. Watched all 9 episodes of that. And then 9 Perfect Strangers. That wrapped up, of course, last week over on Hulu. And so we'll be giving our thoughts there. Before we get going with this week's show, because we also have Tony Awards recap, we have news, we have DC, we have Marvel, we have all the great segments that we provide you guys, box office trailers, all good stuff. We will definitely check all the boxes this week. Next week is our 5-year anniversary, and a big goal was to get to that 5-year, and we're gonna, I promise you, the show will go on, but I have devastating and disappointing news to share with everyone to lead off. Tony is no longer a part of the show. He has left the show effective immediately. So I will carry the torch for a little bit. We definitely will keep going. Hence, the show must go on. We will definitely be here episode 260 next week, which is our 5-year anniversary. Keep rocking and rolling forward. Still bring you guys the Hollywood news, TV, movie reviews. Nothing there will change. There may be some format changes going forward. I may get some celebrity guest hosts every now and then. And eventually down the road, maybe a different permanent host that wants to jump on board full time. I can promise you it will not be a real life friend of mine because I've lost enough of those over the years over the show. So moving forward, it is just myself, Brian here, Take Two Podcast. For those of you guys who listened only for Tony, my only request is maybe just stick with me for a couple of weeks. You're going to see a couple of changes, and maybe you like them. Maybe the format difference is something that you enjoy, and things would be fun. And I'd love to hear from all of you guys on the side, on all of our socials. Going forward, at Take Two Podcast is our Twitter. You guys know that. And you can follow our pages on Instagram, Facebook. Facebook, you have the regular Facebook Take Two Podcast page. But then there's also the Take Two Universe. That's a fun group page where we get to do more interactive stuff, more chatting, more breaking down little different questions that we can pose out there each week. Fun things to that nature. Of course, you can email take2podcast@gmail.com. So, moving on, moving forward, getting started. New era begins now on Take Two Podcast. Again, my name is Brian. Thank you guys for listening and subscribing across all the channels. If you want to tell your friends, that would be swell. Here we go. Let's just start right things off with the show and start things off with our box office as we normally do. Huge news in the box office, everybody. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, $13 million over the weekend. That makes it the highest grossing post-pandemic movie of all time. Kind of a little caveat, a little asterisk there with that record, but it does hold it, and I predict it will hold it for a little bit, maybe a couple of months. I don't know. Spider-Man's coming out later. James Bond's coming out soon. Either way, we shall see. For now, Shang-Chi, well-deserved, is your all-time leader post-pandemic. $196 million domestically, total gross. A whole bunch more worldwide. So $13 million is your winner for the weekend. In the number 2 slot, Dear Evan Hansen comes in, 7.5. I had a humongously busy weekend this weekend, folks. But I really wanted to see this. And because I hear it is divisive. Some people love, some people hate. We shall see. $7.5 million for its opening weekend, 3,300 theaters. That's not bad, especially for a musical that some people are kind of meh on or everyone's already seen. Either way. Free Guy comes in third place, $4 million, puts it at $114 million domestically. That is awesome. Keep kicking some ass, Free Guy. It's just a fun movie to watch, and I'm not even a big gamer, and it's still fun to watch. Candyman comes in fourth place, $2.5. Expect a little uptick there as Halloween season approaches. Obviously, it's at $56 million overall. Cry Macho comes in. Cry Macho, the only film in over 4,000 theaters currently. Crazy. Clint's trying to get that cash on his way out. $2 million, sitting at $8 million after 3 weeks. I mean, I think the reviews so far, that from what I've heard, kind of speak to that money. Number 6, in its 7th week of release, is Jungle Cruise, another 1.7. That puts it at $114 million. 114,890, where Free Guy is 114,139. Ooh, Free Guy. You're right on the heels of Jungle Cruise. So Jungle Cruise has already been committed to a second one. Does this mean once Free Guy passes it and the money, it's going to be committed to a second one? We already talked about it a couple of weeks ago. It's going to happen. We're going to get a second Free Guy. Number 7 is Malignant at 1.5, $12 million overall. 8 is Cop Shop, $1.2 million. A very non-marketed movie for the most part. Barely heard anything about it. Still don't. But it's at $4 million after 6 weeks in release. That's why nobody knows anything about it. Number 9, Paw Patrol, the movie. Chase was on the case for another $1 million. It's up to $38 million overall. And then number 10 was Love Story. Limited release, only 300 theaters, but still made $971,000. There is your top 10 box office of the week. Shang-Chi continues to dominate, but it's going to change. Shang, I'm sorry, pal. I love your film. We've already reviewed it on here. Please go back and you can hear the review on past episodes. I do believe going forward, especially this weekend coming up, you will not be number one. No mas. Okay. After the box office, let's jump right over into our poll results. The poll drop for this week was the Tony Awards, of course, were last night as I'm recording, back on Sunday, and we asked you guys, the Tony Awards are out, Dear Evan Hansen is out. Let's take a little look at films that were musicals first. And they turned into films, maybe even some of them more famous as a movie than they were actually as a Broadway show. Which one is your favorite? Don't forget, folks, Twitter, you can only put up 4, but you're more than welcome to comment below. According to Twitter, only 36 votes. Your options were Sound of Music, Chicago, My Fair Lady, and West Side Story. I was thinking of doing a little number from each. Singing just one song, maybe a medley from West Side Story, maybe Believe That It Is Chicago, then Sound of Music. I don't know. I'll save that for another, maybe bonus episode. Ooh, bonus episodes. 36% of you guys voted for Chicago. Second place, Sound of Music. Third place, West Side Story with a 25. Then My Fair Lady, dead last. Fourth place, 11%. I foresaw that. That was my guess of how things were going to go. Chicago, a little more recent. Plays a little bit better to the current day. I mean, West Side Story came out way long ago. Ask this question again in 6 months, maybe, after the new West Side Story comes out, and we'll have a different conversation, probably. We got a few comments on the Instagram and a few comments on the Twitters. I Hate Your Taste in Movies went with Chicago. Shoot the Flick said they've seen West Side Story so many times they can't even count. I'm with you, Shoot the Flick. I agree with you right there. Over on Instagram, Shy did not disappoint us. Buddy, you said Cats. Love you, man. You're the best, Shy. Thank you for never disappointing. You never go away. And please don't. Chris said the hills are alive. That's literally what he said. And then Craig said, I would have voted for Little Shop of Horrors, but you jerks didn't list it as one of the options. Kidding. He said, but of these 4, which is the right thing for him to say, of the 4, he then voted for Sound of Music. Craig and I, big Little Shop fans. I agree with you there, Craig. And we missed last week was September 23rd. That was Little Shop Day. And I was bummed that we missed out on that. Maybe next year we'll have to do a bonus Little Shop of Horrors episode related completely to that. Okay, box office poll results are done. Don't forget, guys, poll results. That's not going anywhere. That part of the show I absolutely adore. Every Thursday, your poll is going to drop across all of our socials. So check out the Instagram and the Twitter and Facebook and all of those good things. And you can vote, retweet, share, all of that good stuff so we can get some good conversation going. Some recap stuff before we get rocking into the reviews. Our Patreon, Roy, Craig, Katz, Ryan, Chris, Gerald, and Vaughn. You got one final episode of Patreon. James Bond songs is available now for you guys. I just want to shout your guys' name out one last time because Patreon will not continue. So, folks, if you were interested in our Patreon, please just shoot me a text or an email on the side. Or hit us on a DM, slide into my DMs. I would love that, actually. But the Patreon will be going away. That is one change we're making going forward. So, gentlemen, and Lisa, I want to throw you some love. Kevin, I want to throw you some love from back in the day. Shy even was a Patreon at one time. I want to throw all of you guys some love. So, all of our Patreon subscribers that we've had over this run here for 2+ years, thank you so much for everything that you've given to us. I would be sending you personal notes on the side going forward. You got that one final episode of Best James Bond songs. Not bad. The Realm of Take Two. Hopefully it's not going away. I actually haven't spoken. Just realized I haven't spoken with Roy. But The Realm is out. Your September episode is out right now. He talked about He-Man. He talked about Night Books. A couple other good things on there. I actually listened to his ep, and it is solid. So that is in your Take Two podcast feeds as we speak. You can do that monthly spin-off show of The Realm of Take Two hosted by Roy. He does a phenomenal job over there. Are you guys ready? I'm ready. Let me take a little swig here. Let's take a swig of the water here. Episode 259. for you YouTubers, you just got to watch me swig water. Oh, by the way, Take Two Podcast, we're on YouTube. This is me interjecting that energy, that high level of energy. We got to try and bring it from somewhere here. Full acting abilities on fleek right now. But you can subscribe to our YouTube. We love it. We only have 20 subscribers. Let's get some more, because that's where we do like all of our interviews. When we have filmmakers, actors, actresses, we have them on there. And you can watch those interviews live. We've had some pretty decent, Kevin Sorbo we got to chat with, and actors and actresses from Field of Dreams and from across the pond over in Europe and England and stuff. You can find all of our interviews on there, and then you can also find our show. We always put our show on there in case you want to see what my face looks like as well. All right, into the reviews. Let's get this thing started. First thing up is Clickbait. Clickbait came in hot and heavy. This thing came out. It was #1 trending on Netflix, which I think we all know is a very skewed stat. The #1 trending on Netflix can sometimes be very skewed, and you're kind of like, what? How was that thing? Something that was released 8 years ago, i.e., prime example, Norm Macdonald, R.I.P., passed away. Well, one of his shows that he did a while ago was trending #1. So either way, Clickbait was hot. Everybody was talking about it. This is the show to watch. It is so good. I love it. Adrian Kinnear, Vinny Chase is in this. Zoe Kazan is in this. 8 episodes. The wife and I watched it a couple of weeks ago when it dropped. Episodes 1 and 2 was very interesting. Adrian Kinnear gets captured, and a video goes online. If this gets 500 million views, then he will die. Dun, dun, dun. So the first couple of episodes are good. You're finding out, holy crap, it's going to get this many views, and they're going to kill this dude. But then he also puts things up about, like, I'm a terrible person to women, and I treat people badly, I'm a jerk, I have secrets, etc. Crap like that. So the first 2 eps hook you. The next 6 eps suck. I'm sorry, guys. I am big time in the minority of this. We struggled. This is why we haven't gotten to this quickly. I mean, we could have binged all 8 of them in one evening. They're only 40-minute eps. No thanks. It was very tough to get through. The wife, she enjoyed it a little bit better than I. I was just like, wow, the writing. I was questioning Zoe Kazan's reasoning for I've seen her in better projects, and I just felt she was held back here by some of the very pretty basic writing that were going on. I hate to lead off my first solo show here with a very negative review, but it's what's happening. Got to be honest. I'm going to spoil in a second here a big reason that it just amplified why this show was no good. The ending, okay, where you find out who the killer is, it's a character you hadn't met in the previous 7 episodes. Aspiring writers out there, that's dumb. We don't introduce a character at the very end like, tricked ya, it was Bill the whole time. Who's Bill? Well, here's who Bill was. And they usually give like a background. Oh, here's what happened. He actually met Bill, and Bill killed him, and bing, 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 bing. It's poor writing, guys. It's bad. You should introduce these characters. You should introduce these elements earlier in the series. And as soon as they introduced that he was the killer, I looked at the wife and I was like, this is why this show sucks, because you didn't do the proper steps in the writing there process. I can understand why people like this. It has some turn your mind off and, ooh, what's going to happen? Ooh, there's 7 different side stories, elements to it. He cheated. She cheated. They're banging this guy. Could that guy who's banging the wife be the killer? All right, whatever. I was ready to be done with this. I'm glad that I was done with this. This show 100% is clickbait. Made you click on it, made you watch it. Now you're worse off. Okay, moving on next to The Starling. This is starring Melissa McCarthy, Chris O'Dowd, Kevin Kline, all people that I very much so enjoy what they do and their acting. This is about Chris O'Dowd and Melissa McCarthy lost a daughter. Very young infant, we assume. They really don't dive into when the daughter dies. We see the daughter as an infant, and then fast forward a year, we think she's dead. They never really pinpoint when the kid dies. Either way, they've lost a very young child, and they're dealing with it. Chris O'Dowd's character is now in a mental institution because he couldn't handle it. Now Melissa McCarthy is still trying to hold down the fort at home while he's getting better, but she's dealing with her own mental processes. She comes upon Kevin Kline, who used to be a therapist, but now he's a veterinarian, and she kind of gets away with using him as therapy. And he kind of uses her as a way to still give therapy. He gave up on it a long time ago because he felt he wasn't doing a good job and went into healing animals instead. There's a bird that lives in her garden, a starling. And every time she tries to garden, it attacks her. Literally attacks her. Flies and pecks at her head. And this is the crux of the film. She's trying to garden while this bird attacks. And she doesn't want to kill said bird, but she wants to just garden. And the symbolism here is that the bird is stopping her from moving on with her life. Why can't she move on? Because this bird won't allow it. And there's a lot of symbolism in this film. Chris O'Dowd, he's trying to figure himself out. He's got mental issues. He tried to kill himself. Obviously can't handle the fact that they lost a small child. Don't blame the guy. Each of these characters has mental issues that they're trying to go through, and they're trying to get better. They're trying to heal. They're trying to find ways to heal through different processes. And the main crux of the film is that these people, whether it's drastic, devastating tragedies that the couple endured, or Kevin Kline's where he just lost his will to give in life, not will to live, but go forward, find ways through each other to now get better, to now heal, to now try and be better people and try and move on in their lives. I didn't hate this movie. Acting performances across the board are top notch. McCarthy has a humor about her that she can influx into a dramatic role to keep things light enough that it's not overly sappy. And I thought she did a very good job here, where she just kept her humor about herself, and that is the character. But she has a funny, sticky humor, not sticky, but a funny sense of humor where it carried the film. It's not great. It is a little sappy. I will say it doesn't hit you emotionally like maybe you thought it would. Like you watch the trailer, you think, oh crap, I'm going to cry when we see this kid die. But they kind of glaze over that in a good way, because I, as a father, didn't want to see some child die. If you've got a little bit of time and you want to, invest into the Starling, it's worth it. It's worth your time. But there's other out there that I think you can find. And there's other films out there that deal into mental health, into processing, into healing better. But there's nothing wrong with this movie. And there are humorous moments. There are funny moments. There are, ironic moments that make you laugh that you can relate to your own everyday life. So, there is the Starling. 2 down, 2 to go. Here we go. All right, Star Wars Visions. 9 episodes dropped over on the Disney+. This made me laugh on the Twitters because people were like, what the F is this? What am I watching? This isn't canon. This isn't my Star... Hashtag not my Star Wars, blah, 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 blah. If you folks took like half a second to review... This was not supposed to be that. This was supposed to be something different. This is a Japanese animation style for all 9 episodes, and each different realm of Japanese animation, because there are different, there are a couple different Japanese animation styles that they go into, and this invests a lot into Star Wars kind of pantheon, Star Wars lore of what George Lucas took as his muse into creating Star Wars way back in the 70s, way back in the day. Samurais, Japanese fighting, all this kind of, ancient history, being one with the earth, one with the force, like things from Japanese culture that Lucas loved back in the day. This is what this kind of stems from. So what I really liked about this is you could absolutely sit back and not stress over, wait, is that guy connected to this guy? Is this girl connected to that guy? Who is that? Wait, could that be that? You don't have to do that here. You can just sit back and enjoy different tales in the Star Wars world, if you will. I should say galaxy, if you will. But not stress over going forward, how does this connect? Did I just see Mandalorian? No, that's not him. Is that Grogu? No, there's none of that here. These are good. Episode 1, fantastic. It's a very samurai-heavy episode. And by the way, all the episodes are 15 minutes, 15 to 20, in that range. So you're knocking out all 9 of them in a day, as I did, because they carry you through pretty quickly. Fun samurai stuff in the first ep, and then a couple eps later on. Episode 2 is like Blink-182 band has to perform for Jabba the Hutt, or they die. And here's the part that I loved about. Although this stuff isn't canon, although we're not bleeding this into, these factor down the road, who's to say that at some point in Jabba's rule that he didn't have some band of teenagers, he was going to execute one of them for doing him wrong, but he gave them an opportunity. Here, perform in front of this big, huge stadium, a la Gladiator style. Thumbs up, thumbs down if I still like you afterwards. And then this band comes out and rocks the house, and I won't spoiler if they get killed or not at the end. I say Blink-182 because they had a little Blink-182 sound to them, and I love Blink. So I loved a lot about it. Episode 5 was my favorite. That was really good. They deal a lot throughout the entire series with kyber crystals and using them, and how each kyber crystal can become one with each person, each Jedi, each Sith, whatever. You know, there's a lot of cultural aspects to this of being one with yourself, one with the earth, one with the Force. Fun stuff like that. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I liked each episode. Each one is unique in its own right. None of them really drug for me. Each of them moved just fine. In each storyline, some of them, I'm like, let me get the spinoff series of these couple of characters here. You know, there's a couple of good ones in there. Check it out. Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus now. Lastly, 9 Perfect Strangers. Gave a first take on this a few weeks ago, about 8 weeks ago, of course, because it has 8 episodes out now. Although it dropped a couple of the first episodes. I guess it was about 6 weeks ago. 9 Perfect Strangers, Nicole Kidman, Michael Shannon. I mean, absolutely insane loaded cast here. Asher Ketty, Melvin Gregg, Melissa McCarthy again. Hey, I had a big Melissa McCarthy weekend. Luke Evans, Samara Weaving, Tiffany Boone. Loaded, absolutely loaded cast. Group of 9 people go to a place, this spiritual healing place, retreat center, and it's run by Nicole Kidman. And here you're going to find yourself and heal. Wow, McCarthy, big into the healing this weekend. Each one of them finds a different way. They all have issues from behind, from their past that they're trying to get over. Some of them lost a child. Some of them broke up with someone they didn't want to break up with. Another one's career is down the tubes. Another one has been an alcoholic for years and needs to give it up because of their career. All these things that everyone could, out there might be able to relate to in some different way. So Kidman's character, Masha, has a unique way of getting everyone to find themselves. She drugs them in their smoothies that they specifically designed to each person's body chemistry. This smoothie will help you. And technically, they're being drugged. First couple of eps I was like, all right, let me see where this goes. This has a little bit of a Lost feel to it. Like, what's happening? Did all these people die? Are they on like this, island where they haven't crossed over yet, and they have to find the spiritual acceptance before they're allowed to cross over type thing? I was diving very deep into it. No, it's not that good. It's not that deep. Basically, this is a woman that's drugging these people, and that's how they find themselves. The ones that accept the drug use to allow their minds to be freed can then find their spiritual healing to a degree and make themselves better. Some of these people reject the drug use and just get better by talking it out and finding someone new in their lives. I don't know, man. This thing got boring. I didn't care about a single one of these characters. Some of them I was even hoping would die. I was like, you know what? I kind of hope they're alive, and I hope that person dies because they're being a jerk or they're just kind of annoying. I was ready to wrap this series by the time the series is over. I was pot committed to finish it up. The acting performances across the board are fantastic. Every actor in here does a fantastic job. I don't know. I just think maybe it was overthought. But at the end of the day, this is a woman who runs this thing that maybe illegally is just drugging these people to make them feel good about themselves. Hello, 1964. That's like all we're doing here is we're just drugging ourselves to make ourselves feel free. It works. It doesn't work. Whatever. Again, the best thing I can say is that the acting performance is held true. All of these actors are good actors, and they do a great job performing in this. 9 Perfect Strangers, it's out available. If you had any interest, don't let me deter you, but I just want you to kind of temper your expectations going until the end, because first couple of eps, all right, let me see what's happening. By the end, it's kind of like, okay, neato. I don't know. I love Michael Shannon. Can I say that enough times? I love Michael Shannon. I think he's absolutely fantastic. This shows you he goes from General Zod, Pearl Harbor, to this type of role. He plays a nerdy dad who gets random nosebleeds all the time, and good stuff. Everybody does a good job. All right, moving along. That's our reviews. Clickbait, Starling, Visions, and 9 Perfect Strangers. You got 1 great review in there, 1 decent review, and then 2 don't touch them going forward. So each and every week we will still bring you multiple reviews. Still have TV, movie reviews each and every week going forward on Take Two Podcast. Thank you guys again for listening. I'm going to take a quick break and be right back. Okay, no What's in the Glass or Pod Rec this week, but those segments will not be going away. We will still be keeping them going forward. And I promise you guys, as the show goes forward, we won't discuss every week what we are keeping. You'll just notice the format changes as we go forward. Trailer talk time. Movies that made us. October 12th, dropping its next episode onto Netflix. Let me tell you guys what we have coming for the movies that made us, because it is absolutely loaded. They're doing Aliens. They're doing Elf. They're doing Coming to America, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas, RoboCop, and the original Halloween. And this comes out October 12th. I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold. October 13th, you guys will have a review. Not that day, but you will have a review because this is fantastic. You have films that absolutely, my favorite horror film is in here, in Halloween. Friday the 13th, Nightmare. There's a whole, October thing right there. Aliens. I can't wait to see what they do with some of the making of Aliens. I'm very intrigued with some of the stuff with RoboCop, some of the special effects. How did they use that versus practical effects in there? The stop animation stuff with Nightmare Before Christmas and the singing and the dancing. I'm pumped to see about that. And then I'm sure the Coming to America one will be hilarious. Elf is an overrated film, so I could care less about that. But everything else, I'm very pumped. Movies That Made Us, coming out on Netflix, October 12th, sticking with the scary, sticking with the Netflix 2022 season 4 of Stranger Things. We got a little bit of a teaser trailer. We've been saying this for like 2 years. We as a people. These kids are growing up fast. And in this trailer, I was like, uh-oh, those kids are hitting, 15, 16, 17 years old. If we're wrapping the show up with them as kids, can we film these before? They're just going to age out. They're simply going to age out before these characters. Next thing you know, they're going to be like 27 playing a 15-year-old. Dear Evan Hansen. This is giving us some background. They're going into this house, investigating something. They even reference Sherlock Holmes. So are we doing more detective type stuff? I'm intrigued there. I'm actually intrigued there. What are they up to? What's up about this house? People back in the 50s die, and now they're investigating this exact same house. Why? What's going on here? Is this where the Upside Down began? Questions abound. Who knows? I'm in. Stranger Things is season 4. Season 3 was absolutely fantastic, and so I'm 100% in for season 4. Sydney Sweeney, Megan Fox, Debbie Ryan as vampires, baby. Night Teeth comes out October 20th. We got a trailer for that. This looks great. A driver is driving around 2 girls, and they want to, paint the town red, as the trailer says. And it turns out that they're vampires. And Debbie Ryan, who, anybody who has a kid and watched some Disney, they know the show Jessie. She was Jessie on that. One of the most crazy shows of all time, where a babysitter's watching the 6 different kids. You never see the parents. Anyway, this isn't a Jessie review. This is a trailer review for Night Teeth going forward. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm mostly disappointed in the fact that this drops on October 20th. It's called Night Teeth, but why didn't you just drop it on the 19th? 19th for Night Teeth? Night Teeth for 19th? What are you doing, Netflix? It's right there. It's right there. Why didn't you drop it on the 19th? You still have time. Drop it one day earlier so you can hashtag Night Teeth for the 19th. 19th for the Night Teeth. All right. Extraction 2. Hashtag Rake Lives. We got a teaser trailer for Extraction 2. Anybody that watched Extraction, you saw the end. Oh no, did Hemsworth die? Nobody thought he died. Everybody knew he was alive. They had to bring him back. It was such a success. And that is what's happening. Pretty much this teaser trailer shows you the ending of season 1. Him getting shot, falling into the river. Spoiler if you didn't see it, or if you watched this trailer. Spoiler, it tells you how it ended. But it ends with hashtag Rake Lives. He's alive. Going forward, we're going to get an Extraction Part 2. And then the last one was the Muppets Halloween trailer coming onto Disney+. This looked cute. This looked good. It looked a little scary, actually. I showed my son, and he was a little like, whoa, that looks a little creepy, especially for little kids. But it's Muppets. It's fantastic. I can't wait. This is like a surprise little thing that they're dropping on us, coming out second week in October. I'm definitely going to have a review for you guys. If anybody's watching on YouTube, you just saw my dog walk by. That's Cannoli. He's in the background now. Send him treats. He loves them. Muppets Halloween special, Disney Plus, coming out. That trailer look good. All right, done with trailer talk. Now let's do a little casting couch. Let's lead off with the hottest topic of the week, and that is the animated Super Mario Brothers film. Why was this the hottest topic? Chris Pratt was cast as Mario. People lost their ever-loving minds. Like, are you serious? Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, the dude from Parks and Rec, is going to be Mario? He's not Italian. Italians everywhere are revolting. This is nuts. Why would he do that? Here's why he would do that, folks. You ever watched Chris Pratt in anything? He's an actor, and actors can change their voices. Maybe Chris Pratt sent in an audition tape doing Mario's voice, and he did a phenomenal Mario impression, good enough to book the role to play Mario. Could that be the thing? Let's pump the brakes, folks. When do we get to the point where we just trust these castings? I mean, especially we live in like the superhero world, the realm that we talk about a lot, folks, where we get upset over these castings, and then they give us these performances, i.e. Heath Ledger. People wanted to, burn down WB. He wins a darn Oscar for his performance as the Joker. So let's pump the brakes before we go nuts. Yeah, would I think that Chris Pratt would give the best Mario voice ever? No, wouldn't have been the first one off the top of my head. But have I seen Chris Pratt do acting performances where he plays different characters and changes up his voice and does silly things? Yeah. So, Chris Pratt is going to be Mario. Charlie Day is Luigi. I saw nobody getting upset over that. But Jack Black as Bowser, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Anna Taylor-Joy as Peach, and then there's a whole bunch more that they cast the entire thing in there. Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong. I don't know why that's a sentence that I feel is just a sentence we should have been saying all along. Regardless of this casting, that seems perfect to me. Jack Black as Bowser seems perfect to me. I'm totally in on this. I can't wait for this to get made and come out. My son has been watching a lot of like Mario stuff on YouTube, like videos of them doing Mario things, so I know he's going to want to watch it. I'm in. Chris Pratt, I have faith in you, sir, to do a good job. Flight Attendant Season 2 has added Margaret Cho, Mae Martin, and Cheryl Hines to their cast list, so that means they're filming right now. Margaret Cho is a phenomenal actress. Mae Martin is a comedian, so keep the comedy rolling. Looking forward to Flight Attendant. Not totally sure what that's going to be about. A little bit curious. If anybody watched it, it was a fine series, but it definitely seemed like a series that was all done. We shall see. Well, I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. That movie, the biopic about Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody, has just cast Clive Davis, the big music producer for all those years, going to be played by one Mr. Stanley Tucci. Maybe Stanley Tucci should have been cast as Mario, huh? Just because he's Italian? I'm fiery today. I feel bad for you guys, our first-time listeners. I'm normally not this fiery. Stanley Tucci cast as Clive Davis. He's going to do a phenomenal job in there. An Untitled Netflix comedy has Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Eddie Murphy. I'm in 100%. You say comedy and you have those two heavyweights, done, deal. Also, Jonah Hill is in there, and they've just added Lauren London to that. I can't wait for this to get a title, to get filmed. I am already in. I don't even know what the heck it's about. You had me at comedy. You had me at Murphy and Julia Louis. You had me at hello. The Tonys just dropped this weekend, so I wanted to give you guys a little Broadway action. The show Waitress currently has Sarah Bareilles starring in it, but on October 19th, if you guys are looking to go see that show, Miss Jennifer Nettles will be taking over. I think that's a fine casting. She has a great voice, and she would do a phenomenal job. So she should carry that torch nicely after Bareilles is done. And the last thing I have is that Rashida Jones and David Aiello have been added to Wool, WOOL, in case I couldn't pronounce that properly. Apple TV series based on the Hugh Howey's dystopian novels that he had. I did not read them, but I've heard of them. Timothy Robbins, Rebecca Ferguson are already part of this cast. Dystopian, futuristic, fun stuff, drama, Apple TV. It's funny, Apple TV, they got Ted Lasso. They got comedy, check. The dramas are very interesting. The morning show, Defending Jacob. Now we're going to add in this. I'm curious what they're trying to find with their lane. I mean, they're giving you a great variety. They're doing a good job. But I'm wondering, as great as the morning show was, Defending Jacob was fine. And I know there's plenty of other out there you guys are probably screaming at me right now, and that's fine. Coda, but whatever. I'm wondering if Ted Lasso saved them. That's a strong phrase. I'm going to move on before I get destroyed on that one. Taking another breather. Be right back for the third act of our show. Just realized I sang some Whitney. No one should ever sing Whitney, ever. She's just top tier level. I feel like we should retire all Whitney, but I can't help it. You get out there, you just want to dance to somebody, you gotta sing it. All right, here's our news. Let's lead off with the Tony Awards. If you're on our social media, and I implore you to be, because we have a lot of fun over there, I posted on the regular Facebook page my favorite Tony Award, my favorite opening of all time. Any host opening monologue, opening song, and dance number, by far. 2013 Tony Awards, Neil Patrick Harris, his "We Do It Bigger" routine. I mean, it was in my opinion, it was so great. I almost felt like other hosts going forward were like, I'm out. I'm just gonna introduce the first guest and start the awards because it was so big. Either way, if you don't follow our Facebook, or if you do, go check that out. Go give it a watch. It's like 6 minutes long. I've watched it an unhealthy amount of times in my life since 2013, and I don't plan on stopping because it's great. Now, on to the Tonys. This was I watched the award show. Lots of song and dance numbers. It was a great watch because you had lots of song and dance numbers. You had some phenomenal performances. I want to see some like nominated performances out of just the award show last night because there were some good performances because there weren't a ton of awards to give out, i.e. nominations. We talked about this back when the noms actually came out because not a lot of shows were available since all of Broadway was shut down all of last year. I mean, this award show was supposed to be in June. The year prior to that, there weren't really any shows out. Nobody could go see things. So there was a very limited amount of shows even eligible to get nommed. And it showed in some categories you had one nominee. Guess who won? That one. So big winners for the night, Moulin Rouge and Inheritance. Inheritance wins Best Play. Moulin Rouge wins Best Musical. They did the Moulin Rouge song, Lady Marmalade. My wife was up singing and dancing. I was like, wait, where did this come from? She was like, oh, I'm a big Moulin Rouge fan. I was like, really? Never in my life did I know this. And where are your Moulin Rouge outfits? Why haven't I seen those yet? Good thing she doesn't listen. Neither are a lot of you after this episode, maybe. It wins Best Musical. Andrew Burnap, Lois Smith, they win for Inheritance. Actor and Actress. Mary Louise Parker wins for Actress as well. Jagged Little Pill comes away with a multitude of wins, including writing and including some actress nominees. And then the big one, I thought, was Matthew Lopez, the first ever playwright to win as Latino. First ever one. He gave a very nice speech about 74th Tony Awards, and he's the first Latino to ever win. So there was a lot of, we need better representation, we need more equality, and I think the Tonys. It's funny that was a theme of the evening because the Tonys have always done a great job of that, and congrats to him for being the first of hopefully many more Latino playwrights to win that award, to get nominated for that award. And good stuff. So there you go. There's the Tony Awards. There's not a lot to recap because there just wasn't a lot nommed. You know what I mean? It was very condensed. Now, next year going forward, as I just mentioned, Waitress is back. Little Shop is back. I know listener Craig is going to see Little Shop in the theater. So theaters are back. Broadway is coming back. That was the theme of last night, is that Broadway is coming back. They do have all their shows booked. And folks, if you could please just continue to wear your masks so we can get out of this pandemic, so we can all go back to Broadway again, that would be swell. November 12th, Disney Plus Day is happening. Here's what you get on Disney Plus on November 12th. Are you folks ready? I hope you're sitting down. They gave us a little sneak peek, not only on announcements that are going to be going forward, right? We're totally expecting them to announce some Marvel stuff for us. We're totally expecting them to announce some Star Wars things going forward, some date drops, and maybe some trailers would be fantastic. But if you have Disney Plus, you're going to get to watch, sorry, Shang-Chi, your box office is going because November 12th, you get Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Also, sorry, Jungle Cruise, your box office, boo, because on November 12th, you get Jungle Cruise. We're going to get a show, Home Sweet Home Alone comes out then. Disney's Olaf Presents, little series with Olaf, comes out then. Disney and Pixar's Ciao Alberto, maybe he should have been cast as Mario, comes out then. There is an all-new short film from The Simpsons coming out then. Season 2 of The World, according to Jeff Goldblum from National Geographic. Some of you thought he might not have gotten a season 2, but life finds a way. There is a Star Wars special look, a Marvel special look, and more. Folks, circle November 12th on your calendar because we're going to get some good stuff from Disney that day, and that means Marvel, that means Star Wars, that means Disney. All the things that we love and enjoy going to come out on the 12th. So that episode that we're going to be chatting about, a lot of great things are going to be dropping, and it's just going to get us hyped, mainly, I think, for 2022. But then also, you get to watch Shang-Chi, you get to watch Jungle Cruise, movies that we enjoy. There you go. I do have some questionable news. In my acting circles of friends, there is a strong push right now of a union strike. And there are people upset with how things were handled during COVID. There are people upset with how things are handled going forward. You guys know, big big headline news, ScarJo sues Disney because of how they handled COVID. Blunt and Krasinski were upset about how their thing was dropped. Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot were upset about how Wonder Woman was dropped, and there's a lawsuit. So that's your big headline. But that's trickled that all the way down to the bottom. There's a lot of actors that are very upset with how things have been moving and how things have been handled and how pays have been handing out and union dues have been owed and etc. I'll keep an eye on this, folks. There might just be smoke but no fire, but where there's smoke, there could be a strike coming up here, but I'm curious at what level of strike that we're going to go to. Not trying to sky is fall, everybody, but I just want to throw that on everybody's radar, that there are some thoughts that going forward, we're getting excited for stuff happening. We're getting excited for castings and all that going forward. There's a little unrest in Hollywood back on the old backlots. Okay, April 15th, 2022. All of you Dumbledore fans, that Fantastic Beast, the next one, The Legend of Dumbledore, Beginning of Dumbledore, Start of Dumbledore, Dumbledore Days, Dumbledore, 4/15/22. So on tax day, April 15th, 2022, you get to watch the Dumbledore thing. I'm not sure if I'll be there. I'm not sure. I'll have to let you know. I did not see the last one. I kind of liked Fantastic Beast. We'll see. We'll talk. All right, season 3 of The Witcher is official. That definitely has been booked. We haven't even seen season 2 yet, but they love everything that they got going on. Henry Cavill even put on his thing. Season 3 is booked. Bing. Season 2 of Tiger King comes out November 17th. I don't think I'll be watching this. I barely watched the first season. To me, it was highly overrated entertainment. If it was released at any other time than not in the pandemic, nobody would have watched that crap. But everybody did because we had nothing else to do during that first week. And a lot of people bought into how mindless entertaining that was, including making movies of it and blah, blah, blah. Season 2, Tiger King 2, coming out November 17th. For those of you that are in, no judgment. Good on you. Have fun. Sex Education just got booked for season 4. That'll be coming on Netflix. And the last thing that I have in the news is Bond's coming out soon. What's the next step? We've been talking about this for 6 years. Who's the next James Bond? Should it be Idris Elba? Should it be a girl? Should it be X, Y, Z? Should Craig do a 6th movie? According to the Broccoli family and according to everybody in the know, they're not discussing that right now. They're going to wait till 2022 to even discuss who the next Bond is. I think this is a miss for them. I can understand where they're coming from. They're kind of coming from a place of, we need to take a breather. We just pushed this movie 18 months. Let's get it out there. Let's see if you guys like it. Let's have a good time. Awesome. I agree to all of that. But I said this last week or maybe 2 weeks ago on the show. What would be awesome is if you gave us a post-credit of the next Bond. You know what I mean? Like if Craig dies in this one and like we take over and the 007 moniker takes over with somebody new, you know what I mean? Or if Craig's not going to die in this one and James Bond character is just a new actor like we've always done since the 60s, which I'm hoping for, somehow like we allude to that. I don't know, something to that effect would have been really awesome finishing up this No Time to Die, but that's not what they're doing unless they're just pulling the wool over all of our eyes. See that wool reference from earlier? And we're not going to find out who the next Bond is going to be until 2022. That's fine. That's cool. Let's enjoy No Time to Die. Let's go out with 2021 with a bang. Let's give Craig his due. He made great films. I'm really expecting big things from 5. We'll talk about this in 2 weeks because the movie does come out soon. But per the Broccoli's, do not expect a lot of news about who the next Bond is going to be just yet. On to our DC discussion. DC discussion time. Andy Serkis, they asked him, why did you join on? You're so busy right now. You're doing such great things, especially the director's realm. Why did you jump back on to be in the Batman? And he said he just wanted to work with Matt Reeves. He's a phenomenal mind, a great filmmaker, and he wanted to be part of it. Works for me. Sounds good. If Andy Serkis says Matt Reeves is good people, then I believe him. And I love Andy Serkis. I think he's very underrated. And he's just finally becoming properly appreciated for what he's been doing for a long time. All that mocap stuff, if it wasn't for him, a lot of behind the scenes things, he's been phenomenal that a lot of people, casual folks, and I'm not saying this is a negative to any of you who are casual folks, just didn't know. And now he's getting appreciated for that. So that's good. And if he really wanted to work with Reeves, that's good. I like both of those. All right. Excuse me. Rumor mill time. The Legion of Doom, starring Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor and Jared Leto as the Joker. There's a rumor that that's happening, and there is smoke. Um, Keep an eye on this one for you guys. Keep you posted. Do we want to move forward with those two playing those two characters? Maybe. They're not bad actors. They're both great actors, but I don't know. But then you run the gamut of, well, those are Snyderverse characters. So are we continuing the Snyderverse? The Snyderverse does continue. Yeah, that's a whole thing. I don't feel like Snyderversing today. I don't have the energy for it. Okay, but Supergirl. Sasha Calle is playing Supergirl in the Flash movie. And Melissa Benoist's Supergirl on CW, that's ending this year, final season of that. So the thought is, after the Flash movie, Sasha Calle might not be getting a Supergirl film, but she might be getting her own spin-off series on HBO Max. To me, wow, just hit puberty. To me, this is HBO and Warner Brothers' way of saying, all right, Disney and Marvel, we'll see your She-Hulk series, and we'll raise you a Supergirl. I'm in. I'm in for that battle. I'm in to see what they do. I'm not infinitely familiar with Sasha Calle. From what I've heard, she's a good actress. I'm intrigued to see where they go. And then I'm intrigued to see which Supergirl do they go with. Do we go with Clark's cousin? Do we go, or Kal-El's cousin, sorry. Spoiler alert, Clark is Kal-El. So, oh wow, I hope nobody didn't already know that. I super apologize. Bruce Wayne's also Batman. Either way, I hope that, I'm curious which Supergirl do we go with? And which one, because, they gave her darker features. And that makes sense if she is Henry Cavill's cousin, right? Darker featured people, their cousins are related. So that is the Supergirl that I enjoyed, the Kara Zor-El, but we shall see. All right, a not rumor, but a tease came from the Batman film. Excuse me, I lied. Nope, take that back. Came from the Flash movie. For Flashpoint, they put up a picture of the bat suit painted red with a lightning bolt over top of the bat symbol. And this came straight from Andy Muschietti, put this onto his Instagram. What does that mean? There was a comic series where the Flash wore the bat suit for a little bit, took over. There was a comic series, obviously, and this was touched upon in the Snyderverse of Batman making the Flash's suit for him. To me, that's the route they're going there, where Batman is now going to get the Flash's suit and make him a better suit. If this sounds familiar, this is Tony Stark making Spider-Man suit for him. For you that say that they're copying Marvel, no, the comics in DC did it first, where Batman made the Flash's suit for him. He helped him out. He's got a little bit of coin. What's his superpower? He's rich. Done with DC discussion, on to Marvel Minute. Teases. Okay, all we have here on Marvel is a bunch of teases. Timothy Roth, Brie Larson, Tom Hardy. They gave us teases. Tom Hardy teases Vengeance, or Venom, Let There Be Carnage. He teases Vengeance. I would be very fearful if Tom Hardy was out with a vengeance. That guy angry. No, thank you. He teases Spider-Man. Little clip. He just made some subtle comments here and there. Some social media. He's not a social media guy, but made some comments about maybe Spider-Man's in Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Hope so. That'd be cool. Let's get that going. But I don't think we'll see that until down the road, because we need Spider-Man No Way Home into the multiverse. There's going to be a pantheon of multiverses. Then we need to bring that back together eventually in another film. I think maybe once everything's brought back to one verse, if you will, then at that point, maybe, then maybe that's when we introduce, oh, hey, Venom and Spider-Man are now in the same world. Like, at this point, maybe it's just two different Earths. We don't even know. It's that type of deal. Either way, Brie Larson put a picture of her abs out there and showed her Captain Marvel training. So she was just like, hey, we're getting hot. We're getting ready to film. Things are rocking and rolling. So folks are excited for that. I would love it if I could just put a picture of my abs and say, and everybody would get all excited, like, woohoo, abs. Now I want to watch or listen to your podcast. But maybe I should get abs first, then put picture on social medias, then people listen to your podcast. Check, in that order. Roth teased Abomination coming back in some. I mean, we already saw Shang-Chi, so maybe he's going to come back in that, area. The Charlie Cox is getting a little fired up. We had that tease of there was a lawyer in the Spider-Man trailer. Is that Daredevil? Is that Charlie Cox? Is he part of this world? Can they be part of this world? So now everyone's been hitting up Charlie Cox. Is that you? Was that you? He's like, it's not me, I swear to God. Then we saw the expanded picture proving that it was not Charlie Cox. It definitely wasn't his Daredevil in there. Now he's like, guys, I want to be in. I want to be in the MCU. Can you pump the brakes on that being me as the Daredevil? Because I'm trying to get in here, but you're probably annoying the execs so much that now I'm going to lose my chance. It's all tongue in cheek, of course, from him, but he's kind of playing right into the fandom and everyone going nuts here, saying, we want Daredevil. We want Charlie Cox's version because that Daredevil series was phenomenal and we all want that to happen. I think they just have to figure out the logistics of if he's in. That means D'Onofrio's Kingpin is in, fine by me. That means that Luke Cage is in, fine by me. But that also means that some of the other characters might be in, Jess Jones is in. She wasn't bad. She was good on the team. But then, of course, Iron Fist. Nobody liked that Iron Fist. That was garbage. I don't want him to be part of the MCU. Regardless, Charlie Cox is like, everyone, can you stop bothering them? I want to do it. Let's just leave it at that. Could be just a big tease. Folks, that's it for episode 259. We're going to wrap things up with going forward. Next week, 5 years. We have been a podcast here for 5 years starting next week. Episode 260. Do the math. 52 times 5. 260 eps. Straight shot. We've never missed a week. Not a once. Some have been delayed. Some have been wonky. Some of the audio quality has been... But 5 years happens next week. 100% that show is going to get off the ground. Here's something I'm going to give everybody. I'm going to pull back the curtain and give you guys a history of Take Two. We're going to do just a groundbreaking from the beginning, the conception, all the way straight through everyone that's been a part of this program from beginning until now. Kind of a spotlight, if you will, on Take Two Podcast. That'll be somewhere in the middle of the show, kind of just for fun. Next week, also, we're going to start a Halloween series. October is upon us. Halloween series is here. I have started watching Midnight Mass. I'm enjoying it. I'm 3 eps in so far. So I will start doing a scary film, a new scary film that I have never seen, starting next week, at least one going forward. Now, I will tell you this. If a new release scary film has not been dropped, I'll go back into the B-roll and find a scary film that maybe I never saw, just to put it in there. I will tell you, folks, as far as horror films go, I am far more a fan of slashers than I am for demonic. That's why I'm not like this. Midnight Mass is good, man, but it's demonic stuff, and I'm like, I don't like going to sleep seeing some corpse of a rotting person as I'm going to bed. Anywho, so Halloween stuff is going to start off next week. We're kicking off our Halloween series. Pay attention to our socials because we might have some fun things on there as well with Halloween featured spooky stuff here on Take Two Podcast. Of course, we have Many Saints of New York? Wow, really? Many Saints of Newark. I was just in Newark yesterday. That's crazy that I messed that up. This is top 5 anticipated film for me for over a year now. I am so pumped to see this. Sopranos is my all-time favorite show, so I can't wait for this. I'm hyped for it. I have done a 180. I don't think it's going to ruin my childhood. I think it's going to make it better. I'm very much so looking forward to that. So we 100% will have a review of that on episode 260 because that comes out in theaters and HBO. Addams Family 2 animated thing that comes out into theaters. I'm not sure I'll get to it. I will do my darndest. And then the other big one of the week is Queen Pins. That's Kristen Bell, Vince Vaughn, based on a true story about the coupon clipping ladies who then created a big scam or scheme, I should say, where they got all that money. And that is in theaters and then also Paramount Plus. So most likely I'll have that. So you'll get a Halloween style, you'll get Midnight Mass, you'll get Many Saints of Newark, and you'll get Queen Pins, and then maybe a little bit extra on there. And then, folks, thank you very much for sticking with us at Take Two Podcast. My name is Brian. I will be your host going forward. This show will not go away. We're just getting started. You will see some format changes. I do appreciate everyone that stays with us. I would love it if you guys sent me just a little note on the side letting me know that you're going to stick with us because it's going to be a good time. I promise you there will be some fun going down the road, and I'm looking very much forward to 5 more years of the TTP. For episode 259. Have a great night, everybody.